I just felt bad for her after she met that one polar bear guy.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy was so nice. I was like, oh.
He was so nice and.
But he was 34.
How old is it? I guess that's not that bad.
He's 34 and she's 25. So I was like, dang, that's a 9-year gap.
That's fine. That's fine. My parents are 11 years apart.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, you'll always get that, but that was like a thing that I used to mess with my friend Yana a lot, because the whole thing with Yana is like we're like best friends, but like I am friend zoned. And I'm just like, oh, see, Yana? Good guys aren't just going to wait around until you're ready to date them. But then she got me back. She's like, all right, I'll open up Tinder. And I'm like, I wasn't talking about Tinder. And she's like, well, I don't like using Bumble. I'm like, okay, first of all, nobody used Bumble because Bumble's fucking stupid. And I'm not just saying that as a guy.
Josh.
Why? Oh, someone you know using Bumble?
Yes.
And is it working for him, though?
Well, here's the thing. He's kind of like Aggretsuko, where it's like he's not into the whole thing where he like likes online dating and everything, but at the same time, like us his friends are kind of like, come on, man, it's like just give it a try, like at least do something, like meet people. He's like, all right, but like I don't want to force it or anything.
Oh, then do Bumble because that's all on them. You don't have to do anything except make your photos look good enough.
Yes.
Like, yeah. I even like. I think one of the best apps right now is actually Clover. On terms of dating, and it's funny because even the Clover app makes fun of Bumble without even saying the name. They're like, oh, in that one you can just immediately start messaging the people you're interested in, and then like the girl representing Bumble is like, oh no, you have to wait for us. Even when we already say you're interested, you can't do anything until we message you. And I'm like, yeah, that's Bumble. Anyway.
I remember my experiences with the dating app. It was only one time, and it was because we were just drinking, and we decided to make a game out of it.
Yeah, I remember. I think, no. You told me you did it, but what else happened?
Oh, so we were making a bet one time, and so we all decided, we were playing a game. I forgot what happened that day, but long story short, we all lost. So instead of each of us making a separate account, we decided to to finesse it. We're like, all right, we're gonna make one account, but put all of us in it. And so one of my friends was in charge of the line. I was in charge of putting the pictures, and then my friend was pretty much deciding was just like, well, we just let him swipe because he was gone.
Yeah.
So I put the pictures and everything. I put the one with me in the maid uniform. I put myself one in a regular suit. I put my friend where he was like photoshopped himself to look like a girl. And then I put his regular photo, and then I put my friend when he was puking in the bag. And then my friend was doing the lines, pretty much put on there that says he's like pick your flavor. Which one do you prefer? Because we're all different shades, so we're like pick your flavor.
Pick your flavor. What's your favorite? How dark do you like your coffee? That might be a little too dark. How brown do you like your coffee? There we go.
Oh man, but yeah, that was my experience with online apps.
Oh god, you guys. Yeah, Yana and her friend, I really don't know what's going on with there. I think it's kind of like this weird parasitic relationship where she's just friends with a girl and can't really get rid of her. But anyway, she and her have a joint account, and all they do is just mess with dudes who are like the super horny types. But then they ended up getting into a double date with these two German dudes. I'm like, yeah, so much for you trolling dudes, am I right?
German dudes. Hey, the Germans are pretty nice.
Oh yeah, they were. They were really nice to them. Again, my friend Yana's like she's like super picky, but at the same time, I think it's like she's just not interested right now due to how young she is. But yeah, she's like. She met two German dudes, and yeah, she flat out admitted that she has a thing for German guys, but like, I guess those guys didn't do anything for her.
Next time you see her, just look at her and be like, Du ist gestorben.
Yeah. Actually, I need to look at the video again, but thanks to a video, I actually know how to say "Can I fuck you" in Russian. So.
That reminds me of that one hentai like me and Ben watched with the Russian MILF.
I don't remember that. Was that on the hentai episode?
No, this is afterwards. We discovered that after that, and we were like, because that's literally where we got the line like, "Ooh, that really stirs my borscht."
I know that you've used it before. I remember you using that.
Yeah, that was after I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm enlightened now." Especially after the one comment that one guy says like, "Hey, as a Ukrainian, as a person of Slavic descent, I can approve of this kind of dirty talk." I was like,
Yeah, okay, so like one day we'll have a hentai episode volume 2, but like before we get into the actual episode, there was this hentai I found recently, a really good 3D hentai, like really good. It looks like, I wouldn't really know, it was those ones so you can tell it was a 3D model that had touch-ups of 2D on it. But it was a really uncomfortable, it started off as like a really uncomfortable one, because it's about this guy, it's called Chikan Shita. And it's basically about a guy's on a train and he sees this high school student, and then he just is like pointing out like how fucking hot she is. And this girl, you know, is very voluptuous, but it's so fucked up because it's flat out like he's touching her on the train, and then it just leads to him fucking her in a hotel room, realizing how wrong it is because he's just like, yeah, I took this high schooler into a love motel and now I'm basically raping her. And then he ends up, she ends up basically telling him after, you know, round 1, basically telling him like, oh, it's fine. But when I mean it's fine, I mean, it's not okay for you to rape a girl, but like, this isn't the first time this has happened to me, and I've kind of come to the realization that I was born to be raped, and I'm
"Oh
like,
God,
fuck! But then they end up falling in love because, like, unlike the other dudes who raped her, like, he's really just gentler to her. Like, he's having typical sex with her, like anyone else consensually, but, like, they show you some flashbacks of her other examples of being raped, and yeah, we're talking about, like, her getting forced from behind while the dude's choking her out with a belt, and I'm like, this is super uncomfortable. But then, like, volume 2 is like, okay, we're forgetting all that. Now they're just dating, but they're, like, super fucking horny, and they're doing it everywhere. And I'm like...
oh God."
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny. Have you heard of Ninja?
Yes.
The Twitch guy?
Yes.
So I guess someone on Hentaigasm made a fake account, and I read one of the comments, and they're just like, Ninja, I took a break from streaming to do some perfect fat material, and it had all these likes on it. But then when I saw the thing, when I found the show on Haname, which is really good, guys.
Yes, I know.
Really good site.
That's where I migrated to.
Yeah, a lot of people. All the comments are like, yeah, I know Hentaigasm's back and all, but
Hentaigasm, Hentai Haven.
Hentai Haven, thank you.
Papa HH.
Yeah, I've been reading all the news with that. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a little weird. But like, yeah, they're like, yeah, I came here from Hentai Haven, and I know it's back now, but I think I'm just gonna stick around here. And a lot of people are like, yeah, no, they have just as much as Hentai Haven has. But like, there was one comment, it was like the top comment, and it said, absolutely disgusting, ugh, 3D anime. And I'm like, that is perfect, but yeah, like I said, it's a really creepy anime to watch. And I saw both parts. I'm on the watch list now. I think I lost Ruby here.
I can't imagine what's going on now.
What?
I don't even want to think what happened in that show.
It's again, it's mainly like normal missionary stuff, but yeah, the first episode really is just like, yeah, this is rape, and then the ending of the episode is them like meeting again and then consensually having sex, and then they end up dating, and then part 2 is basically just them going at it, with no mention of that, but it is just like the guy now questioning, I'm still like 10 years older than this girl. And I'm like, you just can't let us forget how creepy this show is, can you?
Oh, so 10 years is too old, but 9 is just right.
Mm-hmm. No, I just mean the show really. He's saying it in a way to make you want to be creeped out.
Ah.
So within context, he's making it sound creepy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Because, again, they met because he literally raped her.
That's some Stockholm Syndrome shit right here.
It's super Stockholm Syndrome shit. Aggretsuko season 2. Isn't season 2's opening just season 1?
Yeah, it's the same. It's just that it's animated differently.
That is true. And it's...
Because in this one she's dancing instead of like just twitching all the time.
I like that one though, because it's like synced to the music, so it's like...
Like spazzing out.
Yeah, hey guys, Aggretsuko season 2 opening. Prepare to cry.
Oh, the dress. Is my hearing damaged or is it soft?
I think it's softer, yeah. Hold on. There we go. Oh, see, she's twitching.
Again, a Netflix series.
Yep.
Onna.
Hmm?
That's how it was. That's how it looked like in the place where I'm watching it. It's like it's an LNA,
Oh.
which I forgot what it stood for.
ONA? Oh, original net animation. Yeah.
There we go.
OVA, which is video animation, which is the ones where they stick on manga,
Yep.
the CDs. Yeah, and then ONA is when they're on like online. So Devilman Crybaby is in fact an ONA.
Mm-hmm.
Even though a lot of people are saying, oh, the OVA, and I'm like, I don't even call it either of those. I'm just calling it an anime because it's technically a show.
It's pretty good too.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. It's still great. I still go back to it every once in a while just to watch it.
Nah, man. Every time I go back to it, I just well up and I'm like, oh, this is bringing back memories.
Yeah, I still remember thinking like, okay, so the art style is really edgy, but like the art in the story looked really corny. So how bad how dark is this plot gonna be? And they're like, yeah, we may have changed up a few things, but everything that happens is all in the manga.
Yeah.
It's all in the original manga with the very 70s manga style that was very big back then.
Oh yeah.
I really like that art style though, man.
Yeah, that stuff makes me laugh a lot all the times.
Yeah. Ooh, except for I like Cyborg 009, but there was a little bit of racial. It wasn't very racially sensitive. Again, but we'll talk about the anime one day because like the 2003 specifically because there's a lot now. The 2003 Cyborg 009 anime is fucking phenomenal. But yeah, there's some mighty offensive looking caricatures in the main cast.
Hey, it's mid 2000s.
Yeah, well, mid 2000s that are following a 70s art style.
Yeah, I remember back then in the 70s and everything. There was no censorship and everything like that as well.
No, there really wasn't.
So it was much left up to the writer, pretty much how they would portray people.
Yeah. So like you look at the old JoJo one. Look at JoJo Part 2's manga, and look at the difference between Smokey in the manga and Smokey in the anime. Where Smokey in the anime was like, yeah, we are not doing that design. Because Smokey in the manga has big old flappy lips. Anyway, it was a different time. We cannot condemn it. Just like how people don't condemn Tintin. Like, you remember that movie that came out?
Yep.
Apparently the original art was like, yeah, this is like granddad racism. They're not specifically being racist, but, this was okay back in that time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but, well, literally the black and red. Like, yeah. No. It's the one that Disney wants you to forget about. Like, there's a short film in Disney Jesus Christ, how did we get here? How did we get here?
I don't know, man. You just started talking about black people.
Right?
I was just
We got here from talking about how Devilman Crybaby was also a net animation like Aggretsuko, and then it started going down to 70s manga and racist caricatures. Anyway, let's get back to the show, because I do want this to end at a specific time.
Mm-hmm.
I do need this to end at a specific time, my bad. So anyway, Aggretsuko Season 2. Oh wait, back up a little bit.
With the Christmas special.
Yeah, the Aggretsuko Christmas special. The episode that specifically reminds you that Mr. Tone did not change a bit. Because one of the interesting things they did in this show was dive very hard into like the Instagram selfie culture.
Yep.
How Aggretsuko realized after we did leave a really big thing at the end of season 1 for you guys. So by the time the release schedule begins, you guys would have seen that one first. So Haida ends up confessing his feelings to Retsuko, and she turns him down, saying that she's not looking for anything serious right now and is just looking for a friend.
Yeah.
Turning him down. And the Christmas episode opens up with her just like embracing Facebook, Instagram selfie culture, being coached by the deer.
Oh yeah, Tsunoda.
Yeah, being coached by her, with again a really funny callback to season 1, because she's like doing the exact same upload.
As Tsunoda and everything, because Feneko pointed out, so like, look at it again, it's like selfie, it's like food, and then thigh picture, selfie, food, and thigh picture.
Yeah. And mainly the reason Retsuko's doing this is because she's just trying to find something for her to do, trying to embrace other parts of culture that her escapades last year kind of prevent her from doing. Mm-hmm. So she's trying to get a lot of followers and taking coaching lessons on how to get followers and how to manage your account properly. And it's funny because you can see how easy it is to get it in real life and just ask people, as opposed to the people spending money on classes on to do this.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the thing right now, people, how to become YouTube famous and internet famous. That's all classes and actual college courses.
Which, by the way, pay attention to your teachers, because it all goes down to one thing: how you network yourself.
Yep.
Because one of the things that Tsunoda tells a lot about Retsuko when it comes to making her posts and everything is that she tells her like she's not only just gotta take the picture and everything, like she's gotta carefully plan it so that it tells more about her rather than just being ice cream or anything. Because she was telling her like about the lighting and everything.
Yeah.
Just changing the angle a little bit, using the sun as like a background ambience and everything makes it look a lot better than the taste and everything as well. And it also tells a lot more about her, how she's like, she's like pretty much what she's doing in her private life, if anything, like making her look interesting on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things about here we go again with Lewis's psychology.
Yay!
Well, Rui's psychology.
Yay!
But like one of the things that like Tsunoda says that really captures a lot about when it comes to like once you become a big name person in social media is once you become famous or like in the internet and everything, like your private life's not yours anymore. And I really like that part when Tsunoda says that. Because at that point in time, once you're famous and everything, like you pretty much have to make sure to constantly like whip up content to keep your followers satisfied, or at least show them something that you're like at least you can keep doing something interesting or something new and everything as well.
Yeah, you hear that, Instagram babes, cosplay babes, either.
Oh, which is what I'm kind of dreading, because that's gonna be me in the end of this month.
Oh no. That is why I still keep my face hidden. Except for that one time I did have my face on the YouTube channel.
Oh, no man, I'm just talking about like, because there was this one time in Japan where there was a trend where guys in social media would dress up in uniforms and like make themselves look like girls to see how they would look like if they were dating themselves.
Oh, weird.
This is a J-List article actually. I wish I could find it. But yeah, there was actually a time where there was a boom where guys would actually like cross dress and like play out the trap culture and everything to show themselves like, oh, this is what I would look like if I was a girl on a date.
Yeah.
And they would always do you know how they would always do the thing where they would cover their face and everything while they're taking the selfie and stuff and wear their masks and everything.
Yeah. Or if they had feminine enough eyes, they'd just be wearing the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what were we
talking about the social media that they introduced now, and it's funny. They literally just put Instagram. They didn't even like cover it up or like say put something else with it.
I'm pretty sure Instagram got a little bit of kickback from that.
Yeah.
They got money. But that's the thing. If there's one thing, as a person who follows a lot of those cosplay accounts, and like a lot of the otaku girls such as Sylvia McElroy, Bunny and Susu, or Swimsuit Succubus and Bunny Ayumi to be more specific, or Jessica Nigri, you do even see how there are some posts where even they get overly stressed out. Like right now, thanks to Jessica Nigri, there's this one girl called Finn the cosplayer who got super popular just because she got called out by Jessica Nigri in a really good Zelda post. And she went from 300 subscribers to 3,000 by the end of the day. Woo! Of that post. And even she's enjoying like the attention, but even you could tell in posts that she's kind of like, man, it's really hard trying to keep up with things. And again, like, it's all about consistency, which is like, we're not internet famous because I suck at consistency.
I just don't have that many social media apps to begin with. I only have Facebook.
That is true. I know, well, we have a Twitter, which I keep forgetting to give you the account from. But yeah, we have a Twitter that mainly right now is just kind of tweeting out at people whenever I feel like asking them questions. Again, the only time that Twitter was directly affiliated to an animation episode was when I messaged Kira Buckland about a Dorada character she was.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember when you were talking about that during that episode.
Yeah. Well, I said it was her in season 1, but it was actually someone else in season 1.
Yep.
So it was one of those, they're probably not voice acting anymore.
Oh man! And then here I am right now acting like Studio Wit, saying like that the Instagram account is coming. It's coming, guys! It's coming! I'll get it done by the end of this month. Luis in the Ager.
So fun. Still funny to this day.
Oh yeah.
But another thing that is happening is Haida is going to have like a Christmas party. At least like a Christmas get together with his metal buddies, and is trying to invite Finico and Retsuko. But Retsuko was already kind of like, I'm not really feeling up to that. I think I'm just gonna go hang out in again.
Is it metal? I thought it was like punk rock or something.
Yeah, he's like punk rock. It was some punk rock bar.
Yeah.
But it's the key to this relationship that neither of them know about that could, again, show how compatible they are to the other, even though here I am in the sidelines saying, given the content of this show and what the show is trying to teach you, it's not going to happen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm sorry, people. If it happens, okay. If it doesn't, I saw this coming the whole time. So don't burn down the studio or anything. That in poor taste. I'm cutting that out for poor taste.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. That was between 690 to 700. Okay. Jesus. Oh, God, I'm going to hell. Anyway,
Hey, if you go down to hell, tell Studio Trigger I said hi.
Why? What did they do?
Inferno Cop.
Oh, yeah, they do. They will definitely go to hell for Inferno Cop. And Ninja Slayer. Okay.
Wait, hey. I partially like those shows.
Well, that's right. I don't like neither of them. I always give them shit for those shows.
Well, not Ninja Slayer, but definitely Inferno Cop.
Inferno Cop, I get it because they sold it exactly the way you were gonna get it. They pulled some dirty shit with Ninja Slayer.
Yeah.
But they only showed you like the animated sequences they had, but then when you watch the actual show, it's steel puppets with like 5 seconds of animation. I'm like, fuck yourself, guys. I was hyped for this show. Yeah, maybe one day I'll watch all of Inferno Cop and we'll do like a quickie little like this is what I thought. But I could not make it past. I barely made it past episode 1. I'm like, what is this shit? Why is this so hard for me to watch? I've watched things that are arguably kind of dumber than this. And technically, I've seen 2 episodes of Inferno Cop because I saw the first episode of episode 1, and then they had the Fuck You episode that you can only see at a convention, and I think it's only available at a convention to this day, where the creator of Little Witch Academia talked crap to them and said, oh, I'm really, after watching shows like Ninja Slayer and Inferno Cop, I'm really glad to get some actual animation onto this channel. And they're like, what, are you saying our animation and your animation doesn't work well? Okay, now we're just gonna have an Inferno Cop episode with all the Little Witch Academia girls in it. And they're all being voiced by men. And again, it's typical Inferno Cop where they throw latte at one of the monsters and explode her to explode it, and like Susie sounds like a guy who's really tired, and I'm like, okay, this is, people are liking this.
Oh wow, that's funny.
Yeah, that was Anime Expo 2015, if I'm right.
Dang, that was the first year I went.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
second year.
Yeah, well, me and my friend had to sit through that panel to wait for the Expelled from Paradise premiere.
I remember when I watched it on Netflix.
Yeah, that was a nice little thing that just popped up on Netflix. I wanted to see it because the LA Independent was like advertising it a few months before, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be at Anime Expo. I want to see it. But yeah, back to this show. Again, as I said, the relationship probably won't happen. If it does, okay. If not, I saw it coming, and it makes sense why they did it.
Yeah.
But it's him trying to invite her, but she's just like, no, I'm not. You know, I think I'm just gonna do my own thing. I don't really feel like doing anything on Christmas Eve. But of course, we have Santa Torn and the Weasel guy as reindeer just roll up to a desk and throw in like a pile of paperwork and like kind of like more than usual, which given after watching season 1 you can kind of understand it's his work and other people's in the office that he didn't want to look through.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the snake lady, it's like, oh god. Yeah. I'm like, this is really depressing.
I couldn't even tell what she is anymore. Was she a snake or a lizard or a Komodo dragon or whatnot?
I bet you it's a Komodo dragon. That seems a little bit more up the alley. Especially with the whole tongue thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what she's supposed to be. But she's stuck in the office doing work, and after doing like a few hours of work and Haida and them kind of hoping they show up, they end up stalking her Instagram account, and end up seeing that she posted a photo of her having like a romantic dinner somewhere. And then Haida's like, oh man, that's why she blew us off, blah blah blah. And it's like, wait, look at the cups. These are cheap plastic store-brand cups.
Oh yeah, when Federico was analyzed, dude, Federico's a detective when it comes to these things, because she actually what she did, she looked closer at the picture. She raised up the resolution there. It's like, see, you can even see her reflection. She's still in her work uniform and everything. She's just trying to give off the illusion that she's having a wonderful Christmas evening, when in fact she just got stuck in work.
Yeah, and the big fancy fish she's eating is just like microwavable fish.
It's the microwavable mackerel that they sell at the gas station. It's like, oh, I love that mackerel. Me too. So it's Retsuko kind of like, fuck, I wanted to go out and do like a fancy dinner, because that's when like the viewer count's gonna be more active, and it's people wanting to like kind of imagine themselves with you, which is exactly what Sabone's doing, where she's posting photos with a guy, but specifically having his face covered up. Oh yeah.
And then you kind of realize she just went out with a random guy so she can get the clicks.
Wait, Tsubone or Tsunoda?
Tsunoda.
Tsunoda's the deer, Tsubone is the snake.
Okay.
The Komodo dragon, lizard thing.
Yeah, okay, so thank you for that. So, yeah, it's her just going out with a random guy so she can get clicks. Which is like she was trying to cover his face so they wouldn't see what he really looked like.
Oh yeah.
He was like a horse, right?
Yeah, I think at one point it was a goat.
Oh.
It changes every other post.
Then maybe it wasn't people she went out. Maybe she was just sitting down next to random guys.
No, cause she went out with them. Like they would talk to her and everything.
Oh, okay.
But it's just like I think it's just a different guy, every other time.
Yeah, and what ends up happening is she finishes the paperwork, but things are getting late. Haida, realizing that she's still at the office, races over to try to go meet her, but she gets caught by Washi and Gori first.
Mm-hmm.
And they end up going out to eat, and Retsuko, expecting it to be some like high-end place, is just like a ramen stand, a noodle stand.
A soba stand.
Soba stand.
Yeah, the soba noodles.
And and it's funny because she's bummed out, but then she's kind of realizing, you know what, I'll just do my own thing, and if people don't respond to it, oh well. So yeah, I will have a bowl of soba. And then he hands her the bowl, but his thumb is in it, which I've had that happen to me before. I'm like, should I eat this?
Oh damn! Hell, that would probably be me as well. Cause like I just do that just so I can have a secure grip on the bowl.
Yeah.
So if ever I have to cook for you guys and my thumb's ever in the food, I apologize. That's just me trying not to break the plates.
As long as you wash your hands before, I don't
But
mind.
that's what gives it the flavor.
No! When I tenderize a fish with my bare hands without washing them, I don't want my fish to taste like fish and soap. I want it to taste like the flavors of the land.
Exactly.
Body filth, nature's natural.
Hey, no,
seasoning.
body accumulations.
Body
is the
accumulations. It's not filth, it's a way of life. Okay, that's a reference a lot of people won't get. It's not just a gym bag, it's a way of life.
Like, hey, how do you think I have such a strong immune system of being exposed to foreign pathogens every day and getting my vaccines?
That's all I can. I recently saw like a Teen Titans Go episode where like Robin got kissed on the hand by Starfire, and he refused to wash the hand, so it eventually ends with like the hand falling off and like walking around on its own like an actual member of the team. And they're like, "Oh, do you get what happened? This was true love's kiss." And it's like, no, it accumulated a bunch of bacteria that now it's probably some creepy zombie hand. That's all I can imagine now.
Damn, man. That's an interesting bit right there. But yeah, and again, like, I think if anything for like the Christmas episode as well, like ending on that note, because like once she gets out of the sofa stand, she sees Haida outside, which, to be honest with you, I'm kind of impressed by Haida at this point now, because when he saw, you know, when they were at the punk rock bar doing the when he was partying with Fenico and everything, once he saw that picture, I just saw that guy just chugged down a bottle of Jack Daniels, and you can't argue with me, that was a bottle of Jack Daniels.
No, that totally. Again, I think this was an episode they didn't have enough money to get made, so they took some product placement.
Mm-hmm.
No, I fully agree with you that there was a bottle of that Jack Daniels on Instagram paid for this episode.
Yeah, and like, dude, that impressed me because like he just started chugging that down the minute he just saw like he thought that that Retsuko had gone out with somebody. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, again, self-destructive nature can relate to that. At least I can. And again, because Washimi is a fucking goddess in human clothes, she completely catches on what's happening here. Mm-hmm. So she forces Gori to like walk the opposite way, as opposed to, I think they were gonna go karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just pretty much invited Gori out of the way just so she can have enough time to talk with Haida while he walks her off to the train station.
Yeah, and it just ends with her her also kind of understanding the situation and saying Merry Christmas, Haida, and it ends with like little like them walking and like what other people are doing on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And I do like how there's a joke in here where the Hippo's kids, again I forget her name, I love her, but they're really good at like finding their presents.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I think she said one year she buried them underground and they still found them.
Just by the type of dirt that was found in her shoes.
Yeah, I forgot that's how they did it.
So like, dude, when I saw, I was like, damn, the apple does not fall far from the tree right there.
Yeah, right. They are both. They are both just like very nosy and in your face characters, and then of course you see Vinotsuke.
Sasuke.
Visatsuke. Visatsuke going to his apartment, and he just has plants there, but he too is also dressed in kind of a festive gear.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I do feel bad for that guy.
Where he just had like a little party popper, he just like he's like pops it off with only his plants there.
Yeah. Nah, again, I feel really bad for that character.
What was he from again? He was like, what department was he again?
Oh, he was sales.
Sales? Okay.
Yeah, he was the one that would like pay for any expense they needed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, ending on that note and moving into season 2. Season 2 picks up immediately after that little episode.
Mm-hmm.
The show is kind of doing a good job at like the Christmas episode is maybe a few weeks after season 1, and then this one is almost immediately after the Christmas episode.
Oh yeah.
Because it's them talking about like winter break and stuff, and this is something a lot of people living on their own, or maybe even living with your parents like me, can understand. Is Retsuko goes into her apartment and finds her mother in there. And we find out that her mother is a helicopter parent who...
Well, I actually didn't think of her as a helicopter parent, if anything more. She's just kind of like, my daughter's getting at that age where she's probably not going to get married if she misses her golden opportunity now.
True, yeah.
It's like, kind of in the helicopter parent, but her concerns are based on reality.
Yeah, well, it's helicopter-y in the sense that she's like taking initiative for things that make sense. I mean, her daughter's 25.
But sometimes way too much initiative.
Yeah. And she's also trying... We'll get to that in a few minutes. She's buying her clothes and like cleaning up her house and like bashing on her working style.
Which is why I can't wait for Christmas so I can get my new clothes for the next year.
I hate that. I'm like, look, if I need clothes, I'll buy it. Can you guys just give me money? I buy clothes when I need it. I bought these shoes, damn it.
I cried earlier because I needed to buy new work pants.
You're like, oh no, money.
Yes, but I was like, oh, it's okay. I'll make them last till next year. Because like one of my work pants ended up splitting down the middle because I was like lifting a box and then they're like ripping. I was like, oh no, my clothes.
I gotta figure out what kind of pants I have for work. You need to look for I'll look at my pants and tell you what material that is. That material is super strong.
Oh, I found some.
Oh, okay.
I found some ones that are actually durable and made for work. So I was like, hey, and it was a discount price. So I was happy.
Yeah, I found it. Yeah, I first found those pants and they were discounted, and then when I went to go buy the other one, I'm like, fuck that, regular price. That's regular price. Fuck, that's like $10 more than what I paid for them. But she's buying her clothes and again like cleaning her house and bashing her working and living situation.
Things pretty much parents ask to like their middle-aged to like their young adult parents cannot relate because I'm still an emerging adult.
Yeah, that's true. And again, I'm still living with my parents, so like it's natural for me to go through this. But that's mostly because I'm being more of a burden on my parents than, as Retsuko's mom was being a burden on her.
The sad part was I could relate to her when she was doing the arranged marriage thing.
Has that happened to you?
On occasion.
My mom only tried it once. And that was like, again, we were super young, so that was really creepy.
No, for me it was more recently with my dad, if anything, because he's like, it's more like keep your options available with him. He's like, this is... And I know I like to joke a lot on the show, but this was a legit serious conversation that my dad had with me one time.
Oh. Because
we were sitting down at the table and my mom was there with the dogs and everything. She's like, Elise, it's like, I want you to look at the family. And I want you to tell me, would you do anything for your family? And I'm like, what does this entail? Because he was looking at me, he was looking at my landlord's the landlord's daughter. He's like, Elise, just keep your options available. I was like, oh no.
We don't need the rent to go up any higher. You need to take a bullet for the family.
And that's the thing, that's the thing, like the family has good rent control on us and everything. They don't even raise our rent, so I'm like, why do you want to test the waters on that?
Jesus
And
Christ.
like that, it's like just keep an option available because you know if you do, like you are the only son here in the U.S. So anything to help out the family. And I'm like,
What do you mean the only son in the U.S.? Do you have half siblings?
I have other siblings that just didn't come with us. There's 8 of us in total.
Damn!
I'm the second young. I thought I told you this already.
Maybe you haven't, I just don't remember. I always just thought it was like... No, you know what? I think you did, but I didn't think you had that many. I was under the impression it was you, your sister, and then an older sibling that is just not here.
No, yeah, because everybody else is already in my family's already married. It's just me and my sister right now that are like the youngsters.
God damn. Rabbits, that family. That's all I can think of. No,
Hey,
God damn.
I come from a family of ranchers.
Yeah.
So that's natural.
Yeah, and what do ranchers own? Bunnies. That's what I mean. I'm like, man, a bunch of bunnies, you guys. But again, not. I'm really surprised how like. Well, no, my dad's family's tame because they're very Americanized. My mom's side of the family, I have cousins and nieces and nephews that you wouldn't, that are just super high up. And when I mean nieces and nephews, I mean Mexican nieces and nephews, or like my cousin's kids are my nieces and nephews. But because none of my brothers look like one brother is currently wants to focus on his life right now, and even when he would want a kid, that would have to be adoption or surrogate. And then my other brother right now, he's like me, he ain't ready.
It's funny, man, because like the family dynamic is so funny because all the women in my family right now have kids and everything. They have families.
Yeah.
Now my brothers are just kind of like out there on their jobs. I think one is engaged.
Engaged.
But like not sure. No, not engaged. Propose. No, not even proposing. I don't even know what it is. It's like a gray area that I can't even tell.
They could be in the engagement period where they've been engaged for so long.
Yeah.
Maybe that one, like he proposed, but like nothing's set in stone yet.
Yeah, probably that would be the closest thing to it is, man, because it's strange. But yeah, kind of like that, and then like the rest is just kind of like they're just kind of like coasting by, saying like, all right, you know what, we'll try to build ourselves up. If nothing happens, well, we'll see.
That story, I'm still thinking of that story. Oh, that's funny. No, my mom only tried to set me and my brother up with like her friend's twin sisters, but when we actually met them, and again we were kids, so again that's creepy that she was thinking that young. But like we were kids, and I remember thinking like, you want, like it came up again about 3 years ago where those two twins were dating other significant others. And my mom's like, man, I wanted them for you. And I'm like, did I not tell you when I met them they were super stuck up? Please, I would never think of dating someone like that. And she's like, they were stuck up? And I'm like, yes, have you actually try watching how they act when they're not around people? They're super stuck up when they're not around adults.
Oh yeah, and like again, it's one that ties on to what we were talking about with Retsuko and her mother, because one of the things that her mother actually keeps nagging her on about is like, when is she gonna get married, or does she even have plans for getting married? Yeah. Because a lot of the times when she calls her and everything, like Retsuko like gets bothered by it because she's like, she just like, when you're living on yourself, like pretty much when you're living on your own, you just kind of like, leave me alone, mom, leave me alone, dad. Like I've already gotten out of the nest. I don't need you to keep calling me every other night.
Mm-hmm.
And everything. And it wasn't until she visited her, because one of the things that her mother kind of worries for her, even though she's kind of a hypocrite for it,
yeah,
is that she pretty much wants her to get married, or at least have a goal in life in mind, so that she at least knows that, so that her mother doesn't have to worry about it all that time as well. Because one of the things about Retsuko is that right now, and like, dude, when she talked to Washimi and Gori about it, it's like, it kind of made me think, like, it really made me think if it really was a generational thing. But one of the things about Retsuko is that she doesn't really have any set in stone goals yet in life that she's striving for or anything.
That's the millennium. That's all people. Studies have shown that like millennials are not getting married as fast, they're not prioritizing families. Even if they are getting married, they're not really thinking of kids quite yet. Like even then, like our generation, we're the ones kind of taking our time trying to figure out what we want in life because compared to the other generations, we can kind of afford that.
Oh yeah, and I remember there was a talk online one time where it was talking about, well, lots of people might get offended by this, but it's exactly because of this that I kind of agree with the speaker, because his topic was on like why this generation is kind of weaker compared to the rest. Because one of the things that the guy was talking about is pretty much saying, he was just saying like one of the reasons why this generation is kind of like why sometimes like people like to bang on this generation is because like of the generation that raised them previously. Because the previous generation, you know, they have to deal with like the wartime and everything. There was the Soviet era and everything. The baby boom had just happened and everything as well. So people were having families like crazy and everything. And one of the things that people from that generation wanted for the kids is that they didn't want to expose them to any dangers or any sort of like kind of like, you know, struggle that they went through as well.
Yeah.
And this is especially true of like any families you can talk to today. And I mean, like this is a talk I have with my dad a lot and everything. Like I talk to other people as well. A lot of fathers and mothers like these days and everything, like they always one thing that they always tell their children in law is like, this is how much I struggled as a kid. Like, you know, like back in my day, like we didn't have these things, or I didn't have these accommodations or these luxuries. So I want to give you the stuff that I never had, but I kind of want you to be humble for it as well, which is a little tricky. Because when you spoil someone a little too much, it's gonna spoil their personality. But if you don't spoil them enough, it's gonna fuck up their personality in a little way. So it's kind of this gray area you're trying to balance off while trying to raise an adult and everything.
Yeah, and it's what is it? It's like currently with my dad. What my dad did, which is why we are the way we are, is he did have I'm gonna work so they can have a good life and you know they can take advantage of the things that I didn't have. But also at the same time, I'm going to let them know they need to work for things. If they want something, they got to work for it. You want this thing, work for it. Like, we never got anything out of just sheer kindness, unless it was our birthdays, or if my dad had a very good payday or a bonus, and he was just happy enough to give us something for no reason. But if we really wanted something, we worked for it. Which is exactly what I'm going to do with my kids when those little fuckers eventually are conceived.
I just see them as cash assets. I'm like you know, kidney goes for $200K on the market.
Oh, okay, that's where you're going. I was thinking you were gonna be like the Hollywood parents.
No, that's horrible.
That's inhumane. Do you think I want to do that to my kid mentally? Now, physically, he doesn't need a whole kidney.
He doesn't need two. He'll be fine with just one.
Having two kidneys. I want to teach my kid humility. I don't want him to be greedy. He needs to lose a kidney.
Hey! I never said I was gonna spend the money on myself. I was just gonna put that in his bank account so later on he has money for college.
Yeah, that's where your bank account came from, sweetie. That was all you. That was all you. I didn't pay a dime except maybe the operation fees.
What are you talking about? I'm gonna learn how to operate on my own.
Oh god, the earlier your kid's gonna start having nightmares about like the bathtub. He thinks it's a dream, but he has vague memories of being in a bathtub full of ice, and it isn't until way later in the future he realizes it wasn't a dream.
It gives me an idea for like a novel.
It does. It would definitely be interesting what else you can do with that urban legend.
But no, yeah. And again, as well, like, this little bit of anything, like especially with Aggretsuko's like interaction with her mother and anything, it does give you a little insight as to like how some people what was I gonna say? Oh, how there might be there's kind of truth to what she says. How like there's probably like a generational difference between the two.
Oh yeah.
Because like you know like how she was saying like when she was younger and everything as well. It's like you know her mother was trying to do the exact same thing that she was trying to do for her, which is get her into an arranged marriage.
Yeah.
But what her mother told her is like for her is like she actually fought it against it and everything, and she actually went away with her husband and everything. Like they actually decided to get hitched and everything and kind of make things work on their own.
Yeah, and they were so in love that like nothing would ever stop them, and that leads Aggretsuko to kind of break out into one of the little episodes, basically calling her mom a hypocrite. Because again, you know, that's what Aggretsuko was trying to convey to her mom.
Yeah.
But like the mom again is like, I don't know, given the kind of person you are, I think it is best if you have some help.
Oh yeah.
And
because like again, she is like for more of the time soft spoken. The only time she gets to Venice when she goes metal.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Bubble generation. That's what he called us.
bubble generation. Oh yeah. My mom was telling me about that. That we're called bubble generation.
Because we're surrounded by this bubbles, protected from everything outside. That by the time we're thrown into like the outworld and everything, we're just not used to it.
Yeah.
Which I get. What was his name again? The new worker from Aggretsuko.
Oh yeah, totally Anai.
Anai, there you go.
That's totally what Anai is.
Exactly.
Holy shit. Okay, we'll get to Anai in a bit.
But that's exactly what he is.
Yeah. That makes complete sense. Like, again, I understood what kind of character he was, which is why the way they handle him makes so much sense. And again, this is going to lead into a person who does not understand that concept was watching the show and so vilified him. So we'll get to that story in a bit, but yeah.
Belarusian Tovarsh.
Yes, another Yano tale. But it is.
You should just start calling her Yana at the dawn.
Oh yeah, I think I've made that. No, you've made that joke before.
Yes,
Yeah. I'm like, I didn't make that joke.
Just call her Yana at the dawn one day and see how she reacts.
Is it Yana or Yona?
The original is Yona of the dawn.
It's funny because our online name is Yona. Yona Clement is our online name. But the real name is like Yana and something incredibly fucking Belarusian that I will not say on air. But
Poklanskaya.
no.
No, that's just the name of the last name of the Russian the female Russian attorney, defense attorney.
Oh.
Natalia Poklanskaya.
Oh, is that the one that people are like super fetishizing?
Yes.
And then you find out all the terrible things that she actually did?
Yes.
I still love that. They're like, she's so cute. Hey guys, do you know she's the reason why this incident happened? Oh God. But one of the things she does is I love how professional she made it look too. She gave her daughter a portfolio of like one of the potential guys, and it's like a really good looking polar bear. Like a super chiseled features, super fucking handsome. And after a little bit of, I don't know if I want to do it, and the mom's like, come on, just do it this once, and if you don't want it, just, whatever, fine, we'll find someone else. So she meets the guy, and yeah, he doesn't look anything like the photo.
He kind of does, actually. For the amount of photoshopping that she did, he comes scarily close to what he looked in the photo.
Yeah, like the guy was so good looking for a cartoon bear, but like, he had like practically a beachy face.
Oh yeah.
And
the thing about, and I don't even know if this is supposed to be a joke or anything, but like that guy was like the most chillest guy you could ever talk to. Not unless because he's a polar bear or not. I feel like there's an inside joke with that.
I have a feeling that was probably the joke, because remember how much this show loves its puns. Like all the characters, if the character's a specific animal, their name is gonna be a variation on that creature's name in Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Haida, Fenneko. But like Aton, as we talked about last week. But she meets him, and he's a good looking guy. He's also a little plumper than what the mom made him look.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like I could. She's like, oh great, now I get why he looked too good in the photo. Mom probably photoshopped him. And she met him, and yeah, he was super chill and like told him everything, and even showed her the photo that the mom gave him. He was like, wow, she made me look really good.
I know, and actually I love that guy as well. He's like able to play. He was just such an approachable guy as well. I was like, dang. Even I'm falling in love with this guy right now.
Right? It's so like if she doesn't want him, hello.
Puts on the maid uniform. Hello.
Yeah, puts on your little mask. Which he did have. You have a mask with like a little chill smile too.
Yes.
He had like a smile that looked exactly like that mask.
Oh yeah.
Because that was one of the things that really made Aggretsuko kind of be like, he's not that bad looking, is he had a really nice smile.
Not only that, but he was really mature as well, because he was a 34-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, he's 9 years older than Aggretsuko as well. And damn, this is what shows me how scary how years really add on to experience as well. But he really had his head on straight when it came to the whole marriage thing and everything.
Yeah.
Because he was really like when he was talking to Aggretsuko, he was telling her like, yeah, a lot of us are really afraid of growing up into adults as well, just because we don't know if we're ready for it yet, or we're not sure if we're just ready to shoulder that kind of responsibility, especially when it comes to like marriage and everything. When he's talking about his ideals of marriage. Because when you think about marriage, you kind of think to yourself like, am I going to lose something that's a part of myself when I do that? Because you know it's going to be a lot of sacrifices down the road.
Yeah.
And when I heard him, I was like, oh, keep speaking.
Yeah. Preach, brother, preach. Yeah, and, you know, by the end of it, you know, Retsuko did admit that she did have a good time with him, and she does like him, but she just doesn't feel like she's ready for it yet.
Yeah.
And the mom even tells, like it's not like, oh, okay, well, try someone else. It's like, are you sure, sweetie? Because you do realize if you say no, there's no guarantees that he's going to be waiting around.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, no, I'm sure. So, fast forwarding a bit, because we are kind of like breaking this, unlike season 1 where they were literally in their own little arcs, this particular arc was kind of broken off into simultaneously with the Night.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, just fast forwarding, because we will do this in the 3 respective parts. We'll do this with the Retsuko and the mom, and then Retsuko and Anai, and then Retsuko and Tadano. Because, again, Tadano's plotline already started by this point.
Oh yeah, when she went to go get her when she wanted to get her license, so just so she could avoid meeting with guys in the weekend.
Yeah. so she's so when Retsuko's just like, well, how about we call that guy again? And she's like, I'm sorry, sweetie, but I warned you. Someone already came and swept him up.
Yeah. Oh, a female purple polar bear too. That's the funny thing. It was another polar bear.
You know what? I really gotta give it that the show's not even trying to touch on racism. I'm so glad for that, because it's like there's a lot of cross-species thing going on here. Like the fact that the mom, who, you know, they are trying to paint up as this old-fashioned woman, is like trying to set up her little red panda daughter with a fucking polar bear. And then a rabbit at one point, a rabbit and a cheetah at one point.
Oh yeah.
Which again, as it goes on, the Photoshop just keeps getting worse. And she's like, you can straight out tell the line here where you erased things. But yeah, and again, that's a thing that does happen. You know, as people who were in high school and, you know, even still kind of dealing with this in real life, if you like someone, you gotta make a move. If you think it can go anywhere, make a move. Don't just hold yourself down in what ifs. Don't expect that person's always going to be single, because someone else is going to snatch them up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which has happened to me and has happened to like other people, of course. So it's a very I like that face. You're like, true.
As you can tell, as I told my stories before, I'm a very slow hitter.
Yeah.
Just because I have not played the game as long as I should have.
Me neither. I haven't entered a game at all. Like, there's a girl that I had a really big crush in high school, and I didn't say anything until like 11th grade. And mind you, I met her in 9th grade, so that's like 3 fucking years. Man, by that point I was already too late. I was just kind of telling her, because when I'm holding something in, I kind of got to get it out there. So I just told her to tell her, and not really expecting anything from it. But, like, I do remember hearing in senior year that apparently she did like me at one point, but I never made the move, so, again, it happens.
And you know what? For a good reason, too, because ladies, this is going to be coming from me, from us, to you guys, gals, and everything as well. It's okay to be picky about who you choose to date and who not to. Remember, you gotta hold yourself up to a high standard and everything, because that's how you eventually find the right one. Not the perfect one, the right one for you. Because
why are you telling them that? They're totally gonna look at us and realize they can do better. I'm joking.
Damn, man. I forgot which one it was. I forgot if it was from Friends or How I Met Your Mother. It was one of those reality TV shows.
Oh, which one? Because I've seen How I Met Your Mother, so if it's a How I Met Your Mother plotline, I'll probably know.
I don't think it is, though, because I remember there's this one scene where it's like if you spend too long looking for Mr. Perfect, Mr. Right will pass you by your life before you know it, before you realize it.
That was definitely... It was, I don't know per se, but I think that really was a How I Met Your Mother thing, because there was that whole thing with Ted and Robin.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, where Robin was always questioning whether Ted was right, and Ted was always like, I know she's perfect for me, but she's not ready yet, you know. So, yeah, it could have been that. It also could have been Friends, too, because there's that whole thing with Rachel and Ross.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I don't watch Friends at all, but that just shows you how, like, popular that show is. That,
yeah. Because, like, thinking about it and everything as well, because like the thing with Aggretsuko right now is like not only she's not ready, but she just hasn't found the right person
Yeah.
to accept for who she feels comfortable pretty much disclosing who she really is and everything as well.
Yeah, and Haida, in case you people are wondering, is just kind of being the friend right now. But he's doing the thing that the show just told you not to do, and that's kind of expecting she's going to be single for a bit. And not really noticing. Again, when someone's like, I want to be single, that doesn't mean they're going to be single for for like a specific amount of time. That just means at this moment, if you try to ask them out, they're probably not going to say
You're
yes.
probably not going to be ready yet, yeah, so it's just kind of like tell them to like wait a little bit until like the storm kind of clears out.
Yeah, but it could always be like they do find someone, and it could be a week. It could be a lot sooner than you and even they thought it would be.
Which for anybody saying that love is simple, it's not.
Yeah. So
What you're thinking about is the chemical reaction, not the actual concept.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The infatuation, if you will.
Yeah, you're thinking about the infatuation, not the actual concept of love.
Yeah, so with closing up
God
this.
damn, I'm making it seem like I have something against it.
Totally. You're starting to sound like Yana. Like, I'm not looking to get married or fall in love right now. Anyway, yeah, I'm not looking to get married either. That's the thing she's trying to push on. She's like, I can tell you want to get married soon. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I can't even support myself right now. I am open to the idea of marriage. That doesn't mean that I'm looking to get married right now.
Oh, like when Hanakawa, after Araragi rescued Hanakawa from being burnt by that tiger thing.
Yeah.
And then she asked him, I was like, would you like to go out with me with the intention of marriage in the future?
Yeah. I remember that line.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like moving on lightly, the mom is like, yeah, so every weekend it is just going to be us, you meeting other guys until we eventually find Mr. Perfect for you. And Retsuko, not wanting any of that, is like, oh no, I'm actually going to learn how to drive. And it's like, oh really? Okay, well if you're doing that, I'll pay for like half of the classes.
Dude, that was such a good deal too.
Yeah, that is a super good deal. No, my mom wants me to do that to the point where she's willing to pay for all of the classes.
Take them.
I know, I have to, but like, my anxiety.
Don't worry. Well, if anything, when it comes to driving, if anything, it's okay to let your anxiety take over at first. Because if you get overconfident at first, you end up with a Glendale driver.
That's true. Hey asshole, you're not even on the right lane. You can't cut me off. My mom once got cut off by a dude making a U-E, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy in Glendale?
Nah, yesterday I almost got run over by I almost got run over. Because I was walking I was helping a lady I was walking across. I looked at the guy. We looked at each other in the eyes. Well, he can't say shit that he didn't see me because we looked each other in the eye, and I was about to wave at him, and he immediately just stepped on the gas right in front of me. So I had to literally jump out with the car out of the way before he ran me over with his bike GMC.
Yeah.
Looking motherfucker.
That's why the Glendale police are super strict, because they know how fucked up the drivers are. So, moving on, we have another plot line where a new guy has entered the workplace, and similar to Feneko, Haida, and Retsuko, he is fresh out of school.
Yeah, he's a graduate.
Yeah.
Which gets me thinking that he might be like a 22-year-old. No, he said that they got the same treatment 4 years ago. So he might be 21.
Yeah, he's definitely 21, maybe even 20.
Yeah, 2021.
And he comes off as like just kind of a timid guy. Normal at first, because like Haida and Feneko immediately make friends with him, and Tone is like. Again, I love Toad. He's all like, yeah, we have a new guy, and I'm looking for you to train him. And again, train him well, because if he doesn't turn out well, I know who to blame. But also try to go easy on him, basically telling her it's okay to haze the dude if you have to.
Oh yeah, because he was, like, this is the funny thing. I don't know if it was like same thing in the dub as well, but in the sub he was telling us like, make sure to let him know about the true horrors of the actual work life. Let him know how the system works and everything. And make sure he crumbles under it.
Yeah. That was exactly it. He wanted her to haze him to kind of give him the feeling of what he's going to be going through.
Yeah.
And I've done this to people. Vetsuko is training him, and he's not getting the hang of it. He's screaming into the phone like a maniac. And again, this is like Vetsuko's way of like really amplifying a real world situation up to 100. Because like no one's ever that bad. But he is screaming into the phone like a maniac, and that's all he has to do right now is just be the operator and answer the phones. And Vetsuko, realizing that he's not understanding it, instead of talking to him and trying to teach him, like, you know, step by step, he just says, you know what, go ahead and you're obviously not getting this, so just go ahead, watch what I do, and I'll just handle the calls for the rest of the day. In her way, she thinks I'm taking the stress off him and doing him a good thing by not letting him have to do the work.
Yeah.
What Anai is seeing, and what other people have pointed out to her, is, wow, you're really dumb and incompetent. It looks like I'm going to have to hold your hand, you big baby. And he doesn't like that. So she starts getting these frantic emails from him, basically treating it like an official form, like, oh, at this time on this day, at this moment, blah, 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 you said this to me. What were your thoughts on saying that? Do you understand how that made me feel? I am looking for your response in writing.
In written form, yeah.
In written form.
Dude, that guy gave me the creeps when he came up like that, when he was talking like that. But I understand where he's coming from, because I've trained people who are kind of like that, more or less.
I've done that, yeah, I've trained people like that too.
Except the thing with me is kind of like, this is the one thing that I wish Aggretsuko had a little bit more like, which are more for the fangs, if anything, is that when it comes to especially when anybody who ever has a subordinate like this, it's okay to show you a little bit of a firm action with them as well. Because if you show them their stomach, if you show them your belly to them, you're pretty much gonna let them run you over and everything. Because the one thing that they're looking for is somebody that's confident enough. It's kind of like training a dog.
Yeah.
Like, a dog's not gonna listen to you if you don't have the confidence to lead through it and everything. That's how some dogs are, especially the bigger ones. If you're not the person who's like naturally a leader or the one who like leads them, they're gonna be the ones leading you all over the place.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be like, oh, this human's not doing anything. I guess I'll have to take on the reins.
Which is why if you ever try to stop walking while the dog wants to walk, they'll try everything in the power to pull you until you kind of tell them to stop it.
Yeah.
And they'll know to stop when you stop instead of to keep going.
And again, it's one of the things you gotta balance. It's gotta be the right amount of firm where, like, you know, you're coming up as fair, but not too much where it's abusive.
Yeah.
And not enough where you're just spoiling the damn thing.
Yeah, where what ends up happening is she tries to talk to him the next day about it, and he ignores it and tries to treat it like nothing, and then immediately gets an even crazier email saying, I said reply back in written form. And I expect you to reply to, you know, in the morning. But, like, something happened to where she couldn't come back to him in the morning. Like,
Yeah, her battery was dying.
Yeah. So, like, the next morning she just gets, like, list after list of emails. And mind you, how they animated Nai in this scene is his eyes are rolling in the back of his head like a madman, and he's just typing away, drooling at the mouth. And I do love the little moment that they did in the first season where you could see that she's about to go off and go into a metal bed, but then she just immediately goes back to a little timid form, and she's all like, it's like, I'm scared.
I know. Like, this isn't even a rage one. This is like she's legit just terrified for her life at this point.
Yeah.
And you know, that's actually what I liked about the second season. Is like it wasn't just her singing this time.
Yeah. Yeah, they only did it near the ending, right?
No. During the festival.
Oh. Right. The festival.
Dude, that rap caught me off guard. I was like, oh shit, this guy's got some beats.
Wait, who?
Anai.
Shit, I don't remember that at all.
Remember when they were playing, so pretty much after this incident escalates and everything, everybody else tries to step up for Aggretsuko and everything, just to try to tame him and everything.
Yeah, like what you were saying, how you have to be firm, like kind but firm. Haida tries to basically defend her, but he's being a little too firm with him. Almost to the point where it kind of sounded like he was also belittling him as much as Aggretsuko was.
Mm-hmm.
And he ends up going off on her, and again, I love that moment where he's like, man, this is freaking me out, and Aggretsuko's like, right, I told you how creepy it is. And it is a bunch of other people of them trying to use Tsunade's cuteness.
Oh, Tsunoda's, yeah.
Tsunoda's cuteness to get him to do work that they need to ask of him. And he's just like, why are you trying to use your sexuality to like manipulate me to do your thing? Can't you do it? And then they try to use other people and that doesn't work. And then they use Tone.
Oh, that Tone was like, I guess it's got when Pinnacle was like, sending the big guns now.
Oh yeah.
It's like, lands behind him, he's like all smiling, he's like, hey! I was like, how are you accustomed to your new job and everything? Now that you've been with us for a couple days, you're no longer our guest.
Yeah, so it looks like you're gonna have to pull some work around here. That's what he said in the dub. In the dub, they said the big tone. They're like, time to drop the big tone, and you just see a bomb drop. But it's like, it's him like, so I think it's about time you take on a little bit more extra work. And then in the next scene, he's like, what does he mean? I don't have to report anything in written writing. I'm the boss. And it's like, the big tone wasn't effective.
Oh yeah, the wheel. It's like when they call us like in the Japanese, it's like Operation T was a failure. Report.
Operation T. Yeah, it was. It was a crazy scene, and again, it's who ends up kind of saving the day. There is the gossipy hippo.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Like one of the foxes said, to Retsuko and everything. Is like she may be blabbermouth and everything at work, but like he has huge respect for her because like by the end of the job, she just goes back home to her family and like it's instantly mom mode for her.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't stop becoming caring or anything and everything. She just literally just keeps she's always like on high alert and everything, even at home as well, because she still has to cook for her children and then tend to them as well and take care of them and pick them up from school.
And they're kids. One of them even being a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so what ends up happening with her is she kind of sees that Anai has like a knack for cooking and tries to talk to him, and he's being, cold and standoffish because he thinks she's gonna try to do what they tried to pull earlier. And no, she then starts to ask him what he's doing, and in the next scene we see, I think, Retsuko go back in the office and see that the lady is basically teaching him how to do his work, but she's doing it in the way that a mother would. Like, okay, so what do you do there? And it's like, oh, well, it says here that they didn't get this, so should I send this to corporate? They're like, yes, that's very good. Now what do you do? Like, she's being caring and firm with him, but at the same time, she's also
giving him the positive reinforcement he needs to know that he's doing a good job.
Thank you.
Because if I remember one time when Washimi was discovering their generation, it's like, yeah, like people like Anai, like when they graduate, like they're kind of like a little defensive on like, they kind of keep their guard up because they're kind of anxious of becoming an adult, kind of like Retsuko is. So it's like they put like this little like they put on like this bubble or something to like guard themselves, and like they always want to make sure that they have something to fall back in case somebody tries to take advantage of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then like when like I want to know her name so badly, but I don't remember it.
What, the hippo girl?
Yeah.
Let me just look it up.
Well, one of the things she was able to do is kind of like ease into him and everything, and again, be that motherly figure that kind of gives him like the positive reinforcement he needs.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, studies have shown positive reinforcement is a much better better way to teach somebody. If you want somebody to develop good habits, reinforce it positively. Never give anything negative, because that can only work for so. Kabae.
Kabae?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Well, phone call.
So,
back.
Yeah, he's too. They have realized that positive reinforcement is a lot more effective than like tough love. And again, as a person who, what, telemarketer?
What? No, it was the Red Cross. They want my blood again.
Oh, okay. We need your blood for our vampire banquet. I still think that's really going down. Fuck the blood for the Navy. I know that's what's really happening. And people wonder why I'm single. Anyway, so, what were you saying? Because that is a true thing, that like positive reinforcement is way more effective than like something like tough love.
Yeah, because the thing about negative reinforcement is that, especially when it comes to like slapping somebody or yelling at them or doing something that's kind of like there.
Yeah.
It's effective in the short term, but eventually, if that's all you're giving to them and everything, they're gonna develop a little bit of resistance to it. Or there's two extremes to this. They're gonna develop resistance to it to the point where they're gonna be defiant of you, or you're gonna get somebody that's regressive and pretty much doesn't know what to do for themselves anymore because everything that they do, they pretty much think they're doing it wrong anyways.
Yeah, and they think if they do something their own way, they're gonna get hit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that study where they pinched a baby every time they rang a bell. So every time that baby would hear the bell when he grew up, he was always afraid of bells.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and again, another Yana tale, another Yana of the Dawn tale. She just started working in an office environment, and again, at the time when the second season came out, the show, she was not working at all. She was in between college, the step of college, and then about to start an internship. So she just saw Anai exactly the way she saw Mr. Tone as like a villainified character, and thought, oh, so the show's basically saying that Anai needed a mom, and I'm like, yes and no. He needed a mom, but at the same time, he is a young kid in a scary office environment where other people are kind of just expecting him to adult. This woman is doing the thing that parents have done to us all our life, and kind of giving him positive reinforcement
and easing him into the role, pretty much.
Yes, which is and that's why she treated him like a son, because that's what our parents do for us. They ease us into the world through positive or negative reinforcement, and that's why they chose Kabaye for that, to kind of get that through.
Oh, yeah.
And she almost immediately replied back, I have a feeling you're just kind of making stuff up to make him sound better than he really is. I'm like, this bitch right here. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I even flat out told her, I'm like, you know what? Work for a couple of months and you'll completely get what the show has been the whole time.
No, yeah, because when it comes to once it comes to like the festival that they have over there, it's like Anai's pretty much just like standing there, kind of like staring off, because like nobody wants to ask him for help anymore. Because Retsuko's afraid of him now. Haya and everybody else kind of like intimidated by him a little bit now.
Yeah, and no, he hates all of them now.
Yeah.
And again, one of the best jokes in Retsuko is the CEO wants to have a family festival where it's people in their own respective departments doing their own stand, maybe food or like other festive stuff, and they decide to do a yakisoba stand.
Oh, I want to try yakisoba so bad.
Me too. That made me want yakisoba so bad. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck this is. I even asked my friend who is a really big foodie, and I'm like, tell me a place where I can get some yakisoba, and I'll probably go there when I can. But like, man, that shit made me want it so bad.
It's fried noodles and everything. I get the feeling that they might sell it at the 626 night market, but I never checked.
We might need to check that out. And again, one of the best jokes in this fucking show is Gori is like, oh, my department has we have like an amazing plan, and we're not going to tell anyone so you don't steal it. And then someone asked Retsuko when she leaves, so what are you guys going to do? Oh, we're going to do a yakisoba stand. And in Gori's department, they're like, okay, we're going to do the surefire thing that will put our department on top. Yakisoba. No one else will be doing this. And then when they go over there, you see like people in her department kind of acting like Men in Black, like like, ma'am, we have word that at least 4 other departments are doing yakisoba as well.
Oh, dude, that was funny and everything, because as we started and everything, why the yakisoba is important and why we talk about Kabae's interaction with Anai is because she realized she's a good cook, but nobody else does, because they haven't gotten that close to him yet.
Yeah.
Like at best, like at one point, he was probably just a drinking buddy with Haida and Peneko.
Yeah.
But one of the things.
Before that relationship can go any deeper, they kind of burned that bridge.
Oh yeah. So pretty much once the yakisoba stand went over and everything, once Kabe and her family went over there, they were asking if they can. Her children were pretty much asking Retsuko if they can have some yakisoba from there, but she was telling like, no, I'm sorry, but I don't want to disappoint your family with how bad the food is from here and everything. And that's when Kabe looks at Anai and everything. She says like, Anai. Yeah, it's like, why did you ask Anai for help? And everything. Like, what? What do you mean? It's like, and she looks like saying, Anai, don't you think you wouldn't mind cooking for the yakisoba and everything? It's like, but why? It's like, you're such a good cook. Remember, this is your song and you're the only one who can sing it.
Okay, so she did say it. Yeah, I'm all like, did she end up saying this line in the sub? Yeah, she says that too, that the yakisoba is telling a song and you're the only one that can sing it.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, it was a really sweet little moment, and when he does step in, he ends up making like amazing, like amazing noodles that end up turning them into like the hottest stand over there.
Yeah,
But
and then
there's-
that rap though.
Yeah, but there's an amazing thing we skipped over.
Tone's daughters.
Yeah, Tone's family, which in the dub, my friend told me it was the same thing in the dub, but she couldn't tell if maybe it was the same guy. But in the dub, they introduced you to Tone's family, which, remember how I said his family's really ironic? The dude's a misogynist, but he's being bullied by women at his home. His wife, you can tell, is really irritating, but doesn't take any of his shit, and his daughters are like really rambunctious and troublesome. And the amazing thing, and I hope it's like this in the sub, it's the same voice actor for Tone.
They have the same, dude. That's why if you were earlier, you would have heard me saying like, "What the?" I literally just grabbed at the top of my lungs. I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, it was amazing. I'm like, oh god, the wife is just his really friendly voice, and then the daughters are his regular voice. I love it, but it's funny because they go there before they got the yakisoba situation handled, and they ate it and were like, oh my god, this food is disgusting, and they start going around and telling other people how shitty that stand is. So when they get the noodles perfect, she has somebody run to Tone's daughters and let them eat that so they can start spreading a good word. And by the end of it, they did end up selling out everything they paid for. Because that was another thing. If they didn't sell out well, then that was going to come after their department.
Oh yeah, but that was a surprise that I did not need that time. I was like, what the fuck was this?
Right? I'm like, this is a real. Again, it's one of the many little small blessings that show gives you after it's done kicking your ass. You'll be getting your ass kicked for like a few episodes, and then they'll do just this one really funny, ridiculous joke that you're like, okay, that kind of made up for everything.
I know. And like the best part about this whole yakisoba thing and everything is like afterwards, like pretty much it's like Anai pretty much got famous for it and everything, like so that's when pretty much everybody started like paying him to like make their lunches for them.
Mm-hmm. And which is something that sadly he can't do, but they're kind of doing it on the down low.
Oh, dude, it's exactly like high school when you find that guy with a duffel bag.
Right. The duffel bag with like the Ziploc bags of gummy candies and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my brother.
Dude, I was always like the best time ever. Every time I needed like soda or chips or cookies or something, I'd be like, I don't have to eat the crap from the vending machines. I can get this. I'm like,
It was even like a better blessing when an actual teacher did it, because you're like, oh my god, I won't get in trouble if I buy these.
Dude, that was a funny thing because that was my Spanish teacher because she knew who it was and she would have been like, hey, do you have any chips or anything to sell me today? And be like, yeah, it's like this is what I got for today. Like some of the one of them got, oh dude. Bless his heart, he was like literally like he was literally like the kind of guys you only see in like in shoujo anime.
The savior.
No, like the normally popular Bishonen.
Oh, he was handsome as fuck with that duffel bag.
Yeah, he was. He legit was like, he was like captain of the volleyball team and everything.
Oh,
he
yeah.
had like high scholars. He graduated with high honors and everything. And I was like, that guy was like literally friendly.
He was the golden child.
Yes.
So, moving on to like the final arc, because by this point they're all friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
And moving on to the final arc, rewinding a little bit back, throughout the series, Retsuko was in the process of doing her driving exams. And one of the really big constant things that she noticed was there was this one guy that just did not pass. And he took the tests and exams so long to the point where the people were like, why are you still doing this if like it doesn't look like you want to even pass?
Mm-hmm.
And even like he didn't know what he wanted to do. And no, the character's name is Tadano, and he was a pony, which I feel so dumb because I, for the longest time, thought he was some kind of weird rodent. I don't know. I thought he was like a hopping mouse or something.
How?
He was a rat bastard in the end, so I really don't like him. But he him and Vesco kind of end up forming this little bond where Vesco kind of ends up like, scolding him for not wanting to have any higher aspirations. But, he's really nice. He's a really nice, chill dude that, like, by the end of the time she graduated her class, she really wanted to tell him, but after a stern talking to, he was just gone the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And she almost immediately picked up that, oh, this is probably me that made him do that. So she ends up, kind of being bummed out and, wondering where he went. And then there's this talk where the CEO wants to implement an AI to like partially run their company.
Oh yeah, the modernization of the company.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, so we're gonna have like the AI come in along with like along with the guy,
The developer.
The developer. And the brilliant thing is, we're not gonna have to pay for a dime because he wants to do this as much as we do, and we're just doing this as a test run. He wants to basically test and collect the data of what the AI can do. So it's, like that's,
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, he's Steve Jobs.
Or Elon Musk.
Is he young? Which one's younger?
Elon Musk.
Musk.
By a long shot, unless you're talking about when they started.
Yeah.
And I think Steve Jobs had his job early just because this is literally the story of Steve Jobs. He was just at the right place at the right time all the time.
Yeah. So we end up getting a look at the developer, who is just like riding in on a limousine that is being controlled by an AI, which is a little bit of jumping ahead because we do see a chauffeur. Mm-hmm. And we find out that the developer is a Nye, who is like, according to other people, a crazy, stupid, rich dude.
A Nye?
Tadano!
Tadano!
The lazy donkey boy, or pony. I think he said pony. I think they said pony. It was Tadano, who was the developer.
You almost threw me a curveball right there.
I was like, I said a nine like multiple times, and I'm like, why? I guess I'm right. No, it's me getting the names tied up again. But yeah, it was it's him, and what's interesting is it's Vetsko, who as we mentioned earlier, her whole plan was like she wants to marry a rich guy and not have to work. She doesn't want it to be the other way around. But like Tadano made such this big impression on her that her inner thoughts, at least, were like, I wouldn't mind taking care of him then. So he ends up seeing her just walking on the street, and she kind of scolds him for just leaving on her and not saying bye. And they end up forming a relationship from there once she finds out that, he's the AI developer coming to basically implement the AI to her work. And oh my god, I can't believe I scolded him for being lazy and not doing anything with his life.
No, and that's actually the funny thing as well, because like this is actually a meme on posted on Facebook many years, but still stands true to this day. It's like, I can kind of see it as a psychologist.
Yeah.
But like, hey, just because I say psychologist a lot doesn't mean nobody else can see it. I see the world that's slightly different.
Yeah.
I.e., everything always has to have an unnerving purpose.
Yeah, our psychologist audience are just loving this.
No, yeah, man. There's really nothing that just separates me. I just have fancier words to put what I see.
Yeah.
That's literally all the difference, man.
Yeah. So.
But one of the things that really the meme that I was talking about earlier is that like how pretty much like how average people dress up. Like you see people who like spend like $300 or $400 on like Supreme jackets or like Gucci gear and everything and all that stuff as well.
Yeah.
Even though like they're just barely making above average like they're barely just making an average income and everything. While like the rich guy and everything like Bill Gates for example, you just see him wearing like a $20 polo or like a $30 like jeans or slacks or something and just like doesn't really flaunt it.
Yeah. True.
Kind of like how like Tadone was kind of doing it. Just kind of came up with like sweats, like jeans, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and he would again ride around in a limo, but that's only kind of because that was like business stuff.
Yeah.
And because he didn't have a lot going on, he would always sleep all day, and his sleeping would be really sporadic.
Oh yeah, which is why he would yawn all the time when he would go into the DMV thing, that driving school.
Yeah. And
no, dude, that guy never made it to the DMV.
You never did?
No, I said that guy never made it to the DMV.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. And he shit, what was I going with this? Right. So they end up kind of like starting up this no, I knew exactly what I wanted to go to. He did have this weird idea, which all I could think about was One Punch Man with the Paradises.
Oh.
But he basically wants to make it where an AI will run the world. And people will no longer have to work, but they can still get paid if, they want to do that. He basically wants to make a world where working is outdated for the people who don't want to work. Hence why his limousine has a chauffeur, because self-driving cars are illegal in Japan. So he just has a chauffeur in the front seat tapping away at a PSP.
Rest in peace, Elon Musk, for his AI driving.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, well, I'll get onto that later. Finish your thought, actually. I want to get onto this later.
Yeah, but he's typing away at a PSP, and Tadano is still paying him even though he's not doing anything. And that's kind of the weird utopian society he wants to create. Which all I could think about is the Paradises, which if you guys remember, they're the bald dudes in the robot suits that wanted to create a society where people would work and give money to those who chose not to. Basically, he just wanted a world where welfare checks is not something to be looked down on.
Pretty much.
And what were you saying? Because that's it. That's my thought.
Yeah, because it's funny how they said because the reason why one of the things about the AI things, this is actually a discussion we had in my psychology class before it ended this previous semester regarding about what laws we should use to govern AI, if anything, because there's the one thing we were talking about when it comes to AI driving. It's when it comes to programming them and everything, what should it be like? Should AI robots be programmed to to prioritize the life of the driver first, of the passenger first, or the ones outside of the driving cabin, i.e. the pedestrians?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's a gray area, because you're going to think what if it's a family riding in the car? Then obviously you're going to program the AI to prioritize the family. But then again, what if there are other families or other people outside of pedestrians? Again, you want the robot to if it ever had to come to the chance where it was a life-threatening situation where the car wasn't working, should the AI focus on preserving the driver, the passengers, or the pedestrians? It's kind of like that trolley thing.
Yeah, that trolley thing was forever ruined for me by The Good Place, which they had the trolley thing, and it just ended horribly.
Oh yeah, the little trolley predicament.
Yeah, where it's one side is a construction zone with people in it, but the other side is a pedestrian zone. Mm-hmm. So which one do you think is going to have less of an impact? The old lady, one I heard of due to A Good Place was, do you want to run over the old lady or do you want to hit the hardworking construction workers with families? And it's either or is as tragic, but which one do you think you should go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's exactly how it's gonna come up to as well. So it's an interesting topic to talk about, because there have been crashes already with the AIs from Tesla's driver.
Yeah, but wasn't that mainly because it was due to a human driver hitting it and not the car hitting someone?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. So it's kind of one of those things right now where they're still trying to even right now the U.S. is still trying to determine how it's gonna dictate pretty much the future of AI.
Yeah. Which I think by this point I finally decided that if we ever get to that point, I'm gonna be the main character from Dimension W. I ain't embracing any of that shit.
You're gonna be you're gonna be Jojo with a fro.
Yeah. Oh, that's totally what he was. I was also thinking of cyberpunk. I forgot one of the characters from fucking Cowboy Bebop. Spike. There you go. Because that's what he was.
Yeah.
But mind you, the alternate power source in Dimension W was way more terrifying than gasoline.
Yes.
We're talking about if something goes wrong, that thing will split you and merge you with multiple reality versions of you. We gotta do that one day. That was an actually really good underrated show.
No, I really love Dimension W, especially that lit dance that they had in their openings.
That was really good. That was the thing that I'm surprised. How was this not memed at? But I think I saw one meme of it, and that was that was back when Hotline Bling was really big.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yeah, that'll probably be something we do fairly soon. I already know what I want to do the week after next when it's my turn again. But yeah, it'll be a while till we see Dimension W. Please be gentle. I don't know what you have cooked for this, but we're almost done. I kind of have to beat my mom home, but I also want to go to Galindo real quick. So.
Oh, that sounded horrible for a second.
Yeah, I have to beat my mom at home. I said I have to beat my mom home. I think that is not as terrible if I put an at in there. If I put an at, then I'm a terrible son.
I'm sorry, but my brain works where I just fill in words wherever I please. So I'm the kind of person who could easily take something the wrong way, but won't think twice about it. And I'm like, that just kind of sounds wrong.
So can it be like someone comes in saying, I just had consensual sex, and your mind just puts it unconsensual, and you're just like, that's terrible, man.
Like, that's terrible, man. Like, why would you say that?
Well, I said consensual. Oh, you did? Okay. My mind completely misinterpreted that. So they end up going out. And mind you, it's fucking adorable. And I was all team Tadotsuke or whatever.
Tadano.
No, I was doing.
Oh, there's
I was doing the shipping thing.
Wouldn't it be Tadotsuko?
Tadotsuko? That's better than Tadotsuke. Where did I get the...
Sasuke.
That is a completely different ship alone.
There's Yana right there influencing your mind. I see.
Yeah, but I have seen Tadanda, which is Haida and Tadana.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a complete thing that the Fujos have to work out. It's so weird.
I have a saying for that. But I'm not gonna say it out loud.
It's called fucked up. That's the saying. No.
No,
Okay.
it's even. I had something worse in mind, but I'm not gonna say it.
Then tell me off air. It's fucking adorable. I was totally into this relationship. I was totally rooting for her to find the guy again. I got really happy when they met again.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the funny things is in order to kind of cement the deal even more, the CEO wanted to go on a golfing game with him. And he invited Mr. Tone to go along with him. And when they meet, luckily for Retsuko, the CEO had no idea who she was. Because he never met her. Because when Tone sees her, and it's like, wait, so are you dating that boy? And she's like, yeah, totally. And it's like, look, we gotta keep it that we don't know each other. He cannot find out it was you because that might end up messing up the deal for us.
Yeah.
So... that's why they were acting like they didn't, know each other. But it was also funny seeing him have to be nice to her and not like it.
No, that's the best thing as well because I kind of felt again when he first introduced himself to Anai, when he kind of was like welcome to the family. If anything, if you ever need any help, don't be afraid to ask your seniors about it.
Yeah.
Kind of like when he creeped out Retsuko when he after he got his complaint for the power harassment.
Yeah, and they end up going golfing and it's fine, but Paparazzo pops up, or paparazzi, ends up snapping a photo of them and posts an article like, oh my god, is wedding bells in the air? Who is this mysterious girl? And they go into a thing that a lot of media has already touched on, and that is don't read the comments, where people are reacting to Retsuko as who is this mystery girl dating this super hot billionaire boy, and
it's only the money that makes him hot.
Yeah, and that's them kind of saying, oh, she's a gold digger, this totally is not working out, I bet you she's really ugly. I think she did end up getting doxxed at one point. And the whole time she's just looking at the comments come on, there's gotta be at least one good thing in here. And when they're just driving home, there's him saying, wow, did you read that article? It's ridiculous, right? And she's like, yeah, the people are really overreacting. And he's like, yeah, and also let's not forget about that thing they said about getting married. I mean, what a pointless and completely unnecessary idea that is.
Oh yeah.
And that was immediately a deal breaker for her, almost immediately, because he's all we don't have to get married, we can still date, I'll still take care of you. How about you quit your job too? Because by this point, Vetsuko legitimately loves her job. And she likes being a working woman. And she wants to be a working woman with the possibility of being a married wife one day.
Yep.
And Tadano, of course, is against everything that she wants in her life.
Yeah, pretty much represented what she was looking for before, but not what she needed.
Yeah, which is why the whole thing with the mom was, got put so much emphasis on, and it's kind of like, this is what you thought you didn't want, but by the end of it, you do want it. And now it's going to, again, affect a relationship that you initially thought would have worked.
Yeah.
But on a nice end, Tadano's end, did he change the schedule again? Jesus. Wait. He changed the schedule for next week. Ooh, boy. Take over.
But pretty much at this point right now, kind of like how Danny was building him up and everything, you get to realize just what's pretty much like, that this character is pretty much not what we were expecting to. What happened?
Awesome. 29:30. Looks like I'm not working either.
Oh, for Crunchyroll?
Yeah. This is what I was afraid of. I didn't think he was going to give me the days off.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we're good. Got the days off. Did you get your badge already?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I like the pun they put in there. It's like isekai, and I'm like,
I know, dude. When I read that, I was like, not another one.
Another one. It's funny because I'm currently writing an isekai just for the fuck of it, and then Giga had to release that video where all the isekai literally drove him insane in the end. But first of all, there's a manga I was gonna buy that I found out is an anime now, Astra.
Oh, that one is so good.
I'm gonna watch that. I wanna watch that. And I love how it's basically Lost in space.
Yep.
Must be about people getting transported to another world. So, going back to it.
That's legit what it is. It's literally word for word. They literally just got transported to another world.
Yeah, but it's also Lost in space.
Exactly.
Again, it's the same thing. They got sucked into a wormhole and spit out in a place where they're like, I don't know where the fuck we're at. So, in the... I don't know that. So, yeah, the thing with him is, unlike...
Tadano, right?
Yeah, Tadano. Unlike Visatsuke, he is... sorry. He's not really sympathetic like Visatsuke was. At least with him, you kind of understand why he was the way he was.
Yeah.
This is one of those guys that he means well. He does. He has his own ideals, and that's the problem here. He has so very powerful ideals that he was just pushing his idea onto Vetsuko without really getting what she really wanted out of this. And again, it's another example of Vetsuko being super standoffish. It's her allowing another person to walk all over her again, which is why it leads on to another great, Mr. Tone scene, where it's him basically saying because if I'm wrong, maybe I don't know if this is right. She went to the work with a resignation letter, right?
At one point.
She was gonna quit, right?
Yeah, because I think she at that point she had surrendered herself to the idea of it, but she's still kind of hesitant about it.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to find that scene again because again there you go. I think this is the right one. So before we do it, what ends up happening is she does go to work with the resignation letter and leaves it at his desk. So when he comes to work the next morning, he sees it and goes to her happily typing away at the computer, and he runs in and tells her this.
We're gonna have a little talk.
I'm sorry. I know that I missed a bunch of work, and I don't even have a good excuse.
That was another thing I forgot.
But at least I can try to do the right thing now.
Oh, I forgot.
Here, sir.
Actually, how it went.
The hell is this? Marrying that hotshot, huh?
We don't believe in it.
Huh?
Marriage is such a relic. point of trying to take what two people feel
How
and...
come you're quitting then?
Well, it's because
You're just blowing back all the hot air Tadano put into your head, ain't you? For what it's worth, you're not completely wrong about it. People get married for stupid reasons, like it's some kind of magic wand that fixes everything. Even so, life can get pretty damn lonely when you're all by yourself. People need something to lean on to get through the day. That's why a bastard like me went the wife and kids route. They drive me nuts, but without them, what the hell am I even doing with my life? I made that call for myself. Maybe a whiz like Tadano doesn't need him. Look at that guy. That's not our world. Stop being an idiot! You're not Tadano. You're you, Calendar! If you don't know what you want for yourself without some boy telling you so, you'll never be the badass you want to be.
Yep. Again, once again, keeping in tradition that Tone is a fucking badass. It's really funny that that's the only, like, really elder adult, person she has to interact with, even though they have, like, a really bad relationship most of the time. But, you know, it once again shows that this is a guy that he may have his certain ideals. He's a complete jerk, but he does legitimately care for the people he works with.
Oh yeah, and like one of the things as well is like this is pretty much Tone pretty much put it in a really good way. It's like his world is completely different from like what they work in as well and everything. Cause like when you have that much, not only like that much success and everything, but that much money and everything to do whatever you can or want, your ideals are definitely gonna be completely different than somebody who has to work for what they have to get for and everything as well.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like one of those things where like, you know, people always bring up a lot. It's like it's the difference between the 98 versus the 2% or the 1% and everything as well. And it's just completely different dynamics and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how you wouldn't compare it's like trying to compare apples and oranges. They're just not the same thing at all.
Yeah.
One's a citrus, the other one comes from a tree. No, they both come from a tree.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean.
No, I totally do.
But yeah, it's completely different lifing and everything as well. So once he was rich, you can kind of see where this is gonna get headed.
Yeah. He got used to the idea of wanting to kind of just live off his money and not doing anything, and that is what gave him the idea that he wants to create that very bizarre utopia. Mm-hmm. Again, I could see a lot of people wanting to see that happen, but even me, who's like, you know, getting really fed up being a laborer for 3 years, I'm like, no, I need something to work. There are people who go into retirement who have jobs because they're like, I just got bored.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a guy at my work who was retired, had a lot of money, and he was just working at Goodwill because it gave him something to do on the weekdays.
Yep. Because we're creatures of habit. We need something to do our daily routines or just things get boring.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it's like, it's what he said too, it's like, life can get lonely, so yeah, you can get married and have something to do, or, you know, to be more frank, you just need interaction with other people, you just need something to do to keep yourself from going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, and at the end, he ends up getting kidnapped by Vashimi, Gory, Haida, and Retsuko, where they end up dragging him to the karaoke bar, and she breaks up with him then and there, and basically vent-meddling that she wants to get married. This is what she wants, and when he didn't reciprocate those feelings, it just, you know, they broke up. And unlike with Risatsuke, she was actually pretty torn up about that one.
Not yet.
Yeah, so that is, anything else you want to mention?
No. I think that's pretty much it for the show, unless we're going to go find songs. I'm going to let you go first, just because I got to pull up something for you.
Oh, okay.
Your surprise for next week.
Oh, no! I'm scared. So, anyway,
go first.
Let's go. Any other really... you know what we'll play? I know, I got just the thing. Hold on, people.
Not going back to the death metal row your boat?
No, we're going to find another weird death metal cover. Little B Mills actually did a really good one of something. Sorry for the dead air people. I'm looking right now.
Don't worry, he's not the only one. I'm also looking for stuff.
No. You know what? We'll just go with this one. Wait, no. What was the one I was listening to yesterday? Oh, Nate Wants to Battle, because you can never go wrong with a Nate Wants to Battle.
Oh, that again, my mind working its magic. That last word almost sounded different.
What? What was the last word?
I thought you were gonna say Nate wants to bang.
Oh God.
I'm telling you, my mind's a beautiful thing.
Anyway, let's do the closing thoughts to Billie Eilish being performed as if it was a Green Day song. So, Aggretsuko Season 2 is one of those seasons that I didn't think was ever going to happen. I know there was a Season 1, and I knew there was going to be a Christmas special, but I had no idea there was going to be a Season 2. So when it just randomly popped up on Aki's Instagram feed that Season 2 came out, I immediately dropped everything I was doing to watch, the show, and I binged it all within the night. And, again, we don't really talk about the animation, but it has this very 3D, 2D look to it, where the characters move their body so smooth to the point where it's like, is this 3D models on a 2D, or is this like a combination of Flash where you're just sliding the faces across, the thing?
Yeah.
So the animation again is very smooth, and it very much helps out with a lot of the comedy here. Again, I really love the characters. Rashimi and Gori end up to continue to be like one of the best side characters in here. And we did gloss over like a really big side plot with them.
Yeah, but if anything, that's something you guys should probably like discover for yourself as well, because even though at the end it's kind of like you mentioned, it feels like a truce.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you get to see like pretty much like even best. Well, I'll shut up right now.
Yeah, it's definitely, I can definitely imagine that being a really big subplot in Season 3.
Oh, there's another season?
If there is going to be one.
Oh, okay.
But I can imagine if there is going to be a Season 3, that's going to have to be one of them where they kind of mend. There's also a really funny subplot of Gori and Aggretsuko at a speed dating. But again, that one's so great that you just got to check that out on your own. That was incredible.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. I wonder if that's an actual thing that they did though, where they're like, oh, you don't have to actually date anyone, but we just need you in here to look good. But and then of course we have more Haida and Finnegan shenanigans and how they end up playing in with some of the story. I really did like Anai, because after they turned Anai from like a villain type character sort of, they made him into kind of like the dunce.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was kind of dumb, but they're like, where like Aggretsuko is at the office and it's like, okay, everybody, remember, don't mention the obvious thing. And he like goes up and he's like, hey, Aggretsuko, how's everything going with your billionaire boyfriend?
Oh yeah.
And they're like, shut up.
Oh yeah, whenever we just bring up the obvious and everything.
Yeah, like that's why in that scene that we played, he was just standing over there because he just like went over there after they told him not to. And that's what Yana said in the original 100 episode anime. And I was basically there to be like the dunderhead who didn't do anything. And in this one, they actually gave him a character.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tadano, I thought was a really interesting thing. I did like how they made the chemistry between them feel so natural that it made the breakup at the end really hard to go through.
Which, by the way, I just went through recently.
Yeah.
Watching that episode just recently before you came.
Oh, okay. That's what you meant. I'm all like, wait, you went through a breakup?
Break up with a billionaire woman I met.
Yeah, but her ideas are a little different. She believed in AI overlords and not specifically AI sister for us.
She wanted children, which is not the kind I wanted.
Yeah, she wanted cyborg children, the Westworld children.
God.
They will remember the terrible things you guys have done to them. Anyway, yeah, that's overall I have to say. This overall was like a pretty damn good season, and it's rare for season 2s to be better than season 1s nowadays.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Because
so
sometimes it's just hard to follow it up.
yeah, so now you can go.
Oh, I got my song.
Okay, go ahead. Don't check my Don't check my scroll history.
Alright, but while I'm looking for it as well, so again, one of these things, one of the things that pretty much, well, when I was watching the show and everything again, I messaged Danny about this last night as well, but this show was kind of getting, like, after watching it a little more and more, I loved it, but it just kept wearing me down the more, like, it just got closer, it hit closer and closer to home. Especially the arranged marriage part, that shit was just kind of like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, like I can see how that could be draining, but that's hilarious.
No, yeah. So, and I was seeing the whole thing and everything. Oh, here's my song. But yeah, so continuing on with everything else as well. Oh, you better hear this part. No!
I got it. My password is easy that even a child can crack it. What is this though? Oh, I know what this is. Uh-huh.
But yeah.
Oh. How long is this? Oh god. Anyway, keep going.
But one of the things that I pretty much when I was watching this episode, watching this whole second season and the Christmas episode, it's like I'm kind of grateful for this kind of shows as well, just because it kind of puts out the airs of like things that people don't really want to talk about when it comes to working life and everything.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to being an adult, because that's still something that I'm trying to figure out. I don't know if you figured out yet.
What?
No, I'm just talking about like being an adult.
Oh yeah. No.
Like especially a lot of us in the younger generation are just trying to find our way and everything. Because again, like they mentioned in everything, like the little generational difference. Like back then, people, like it was different for people because like they have something. There was something that was like pushing them right now. But current times and everything, like we're the generation that like pretty much like we were young when the Iraq War started and everything. Like we were young when 9/11 happened and stuff like that as well. Like we didn't even have an understanding of the world yet.
Yeah.
So now that we're being thrusted into after like the economic depression and everything, especially when it comes to like the market crash of 2008.
Yeah. But we're in a really terrifying time now where like the war is happening in our country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with like the war on guns and all the war on races and stuff.
And add to the fact that also like again, we're often referred to as the bubble generation because majority of us were pretty much raised to like, you know, keep away from like other like anything that were supposed to like that our parents had to deal with directly. So we don't necessarily have the same lifestyle as they did as well.
Yeah.
So this show really puts you into perspective as to like, you know, pretty much it gives you like a sense of like what you're feeling right now, exactly whether you're working, you're still relying on your parents or any other thing as well. So it's kind of one of those things where like it really hit close to home. It's a good show, but you hate it because of how close it hits.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the thing I was noticing was hitting you too. It was hitting me again, the first season a little bit more than this season, even though I was able to relate mostly to the first arc and the Anai arc. The last one was a little bit lost. It wasn't completely lost on me because I know people who've gone through that, but it's like, I get everything that the show's trying to do and say, but like the first season really, like, that one just stabbed me through the chest and it made me cry. This one, of course, I had moments that didn't make me cry, but they didn't beat me down, and I'm actually really sad to know that it hit you even harder than the other season because now it just felt like it was digging you like even deeper and deeper to the point where you're probably gonna get revenge in a few minutes.
No, yeah. But no, other than that, this is pretty good. This is a pretty, not even a pretty good, this is a really good show actually. I actually enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Despite the emotional trauma it's left me with now.
Don't worry, we'll go and do something a little bit better in my next pick. I think after picking, because we've had kind of like a really heavy, depressing couple of weeks with the choices we've been making. So like I think after that I'll probably go for like a little bit more action oriented, a little bit more jokey oriented stuff. I just finished Thunderbolt Fantasy Season 2. Holy fucking shit, we need to talk about that very soon.
I still gotta watch it.
Holy fucking shit, it's amazing. But we still have to do a remake of number 1 and then we'll do 2. And maybe one day we'll do the Screaming Phoenix Killer movie.
Ooh, oh that's right, you told me that was a movie and everything.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Are you ready, Daddy?
I'm scared.
But
Please don't be angel beats. Please don't be angel beats. Or Clannad. Your Clannad's fucked up too.
But like, well, updates while I'm getting the video up and everything as well. But one of the things like right now, this Friday is the 1 year anniversary for Zerlay and everything, and Lewis got a ticket to be on that boat.
Woo!
So I will be reporting live. Back again to the studio with things. The Instagram's account's coming. I promise.
It's coming, guys.
It's coming,
it's
guys.
Coming.
Da 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 da. We're in the animazing.
Yeah. It's an Instagram.
Where's the Instagram now?
This is
but
really chill.
now for your what we're gonna be watching.
I'm scared. Slime with that? Wait. What show is this? Oh no! Wait, it's still going though! What the? What the fuck? This is still going though. We can't talk about this.
We're not. This is just
okay.
a joke.
God damn it. Go ahead.
For what I'm gonna be showing us next, we're gonna be doing Recovery of an MMO Junkie.
Oh no! That was the show that literally drove my best friend's brother into a depression. Fuck. God, you're like, I gotta hit Daddy with something that can even hit close to home. Son of a bitch. Well, I'm glad we're not talking about the fucking mom isekai.
Oh, by the way, after that episode, she immediately got her Nendoroid announced, which is what makes me laugh.
Again, it's another Nendoroid. Are you sure? When are we gonna get like the $2,000 statuette?
Oh, it's already the prototype's already out, and it's exactly the slime scene too.
Of course it is. Anyway.
That thing's like, dude, she legit was wearing a thong that scene.
Yeah, well, isn't the whole thing? Is it his mom or like his stepmom?
No, don't get me asking. I don't wanna research that.
I'm just wondering because I've seen plenty of hentai where like the line is really thin when it's a stepmom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be our next project, Recovery of an MMO Junkie.
Yeah, and then we'll do the recovery of Danny's mental insanity. The only reason we're doing the show with recovery in the title is because Lewis is apparently going through recovery too.
Yeah.
I mean, Rui. Anyway, I can probably guarantee that next week it'll probably be...
There's gonna be a lot of tears.
Yeah, and then...